G'day guys, it's Josh here from CyclonesOZ for your weather forecast update nationwide on Monday the 3rd of August 2026, and finally we've got some snow on the forecast, and it's a dynamic and exciting picture around the southeastern but also the southwestern portion of the nation. Now if you are interested in this genre of forecast updates, then please do consider subscribing and also leave a like on the video whilst you're at it. I really do appreciate it, but let's get stuck straight into the story right now, which is all said with the satellite picture. We've got a complex area of low pressure moving over the southeast of the nation this morning. This will deliver rainfall and small hail, maybe a thunderstorm or two to portions of Tassie and Victoria. Not our polar blast. The polar blast that we're going to see is actually much stronger than this one. And then moving into the western coast here, we've got a cold front coupled with a northwestern cloud band, which means a bunch of rainfall for portions of northwestern WA, as well as into the southwest, but unfortunately that rainfall looks to remain strictly coastal. Let's get stuck into the forecast right now, just playing it through today. You can see that low pressure system moving over Tassie at this point in time, pretty weak in nature, but it is a compact cut-off area of low pressure, which means colder air aloft, which means when these showers are going to fall, particularly for the west coast of Tassie, but also into the far southern coastal areas of Victoria, some small hailstones will be a possibility because of all of that colder air aloft. So a pretty healthy system this is, all things considered. There could be some significant falls into the west coast of Tassie as well, between 25 and 50 mils today and tomorrow, but for the most part the mainland remaining higher and drier. You can see that high pressure system here pushing in from the west over the Great Australian Bight, then into South Australia, New South Wales and Victoria through Tuesday, and whilst it does remain overall quite a weak area of high pressure, it remains influential enough to keep this system backed up over Tasmania as opposed to directly impacting mainland Australia. A few flurries of snowfall expected into the higher country of New South Wales and Victoria, mainly into the southern portion, so no further north than the ACT. We're not looking at snowfall here around Katoomba or Bathurst, but it looks like this is a rather dynamic system for rainfall and maybe some small hailstones associated with those showers easing and then clearing through Tuesday night and into Wednesday. And you can see bar a couple of areas of rainfall for the western coast of Tassie, mainland, southeastern Australia. It should be high and dry through Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Bit of a different story into the nation's southwest. You can see a bit of a cold front moving through in the course of today. It's going to arrive later tonight for the Perth metro area and into the southwest in general. Some locally heavier falls from thunderstorms embedded within the main frontal line are a possibility down around the far southwestern capes. They might penetrate into the Perth metro area. It's pretty much a toss a coin type case at this point in time. The convective modelling is suggesting some locally heavier falls here, maybe making it into the Perth metro area. If there was going to be anything interesting or significant, I'd say southern suburbs at this point in time. Should be some decent rainfall though from that northwest cloud band, very patchy but decent rainfall around the northwestern cape of Exmouth. It will all depend on where low level convergence can develop, which I mean is going to be pretty hit or miss and is always quite a challenge to forecast. But somewhere north of Kalbarri up to about Exmouth there will be a line of pretty significant rainfall accumulations and some patchy but still decent 10 to 30 millimeter falls here. Rainfall very quick to ease off through Tuesday. You can see it pretty much clears from about sunrise into the Perth metro area. A few showers will make it out into the wheat belt through the very early hours of tomorrow morning, but again, nothing significant expected out there. Weak cold front arrives into the south coast on Wednesday, probably into the morning hours, but it doesn't make it up into the Perth metro area. Gloomy weather expected from that northwestern cloud band Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday into interior WA. A stronger cold front pushing through on Friday morning here. This will deliver more rainfall to the southwest of WA, and then this is where polar blast action really does come into fruition. So I want to talk about this for the southeast of the nation first, because this is where the snowfall forecast is, and this is where it's likely to get quite severe for the especially for those higher elevations and Tasmania. So we're going to start things off there. It comes in two parts. The first part is going to begin to build here through Friday from the west. You can see a little bit of shower activity here pushing in towards South Australia, and then especially through Saturday and Sunday, the actual low pressure system driving this storm really strengthens quite quickly. Lots of shower activity expected along the southern coast of SA, and then this will push in towards Victoria as the day goes on Saturday. And then you can see this turns to snowfall with locally heavy snowfall accumulations and some widespread decent rainfall accumulations here into New South Wales and Victoria, as well as through portions of Tasmania, focusing in on Sunday. Pretty quick to ease off, all things considered. High pressure is pretty quick to redevelop here through Monday and Tuesday, and you can see a brief stint of finer weather is expected, at least at the mainland. It looks like it will remain pretty glum down in Tassie before a stronger cold front pushes through here, but this is more of that southerly blast type system. So the cold front's not actually going to be that prolific. It's going to be all of the showers that come in behind that cold front that deliver the snowfall, the winter weather impacts here for Tassie, Victoria, South Australia and New South Wales. And generally speaking, throughout the middle portions of next week, Tuesday, Wednesday and perhaps Thursday will be just a constant flurry of showers moving through here into the nation's southeast. Now I would like to say that there are a couple of timing and consistency concerns here between the forecast model models, the GFS is calling for a very similar system in essence, but it is a little bit more dominated towards the cold front. I believe the GFS is perhaps going a little bit nuts in terms of how strong or prolific the system could be. And you can see briefly the GFS has snow flurries here extending up into the northern tablelands of New South Wales. I don't really think that that's going to be something that we need to, consider at this point in time. The cold air mass associated with this weather system is exactly that. It is pretty cold. You can see here we do have those sub-zero temperatures pushing into the New South Wales and the Victorian high country, but it's just not cold enough to get snowfall into those lower elevations. And as we discussed in yesterday's forecast update, it remains cold enough into the higher elevations to expect snowfall through our usual areas of alpine New South Wales and Victoria, but for lower level snowfall, it just looks like it's going to be a little bit too cold at this point, a little bit too warm rather at this point in time. You can see those 850 temperatures right now. They leave quite a lot to be desired in these locations. So a pretty slushy and wet mix of snow expected below about 1400 metres in Victoria and New South Wales, which pretty much confined snowfall into this outline here. It really doesn't allow it to extend up inland from Sydney or the Barrington Tops and especially into the northern tablelands. I really don't think snowfall is going to be a concern in those locations. We do have some saturated profiles though, which is going to bode well. There's plenty of moisture for snowfall here. And again, the models are actually initializing that snowfall coming through. So this is good news. It is a good start. But yeah, in terms of a lower level snowfall event or snowfall risk here, especially into the long-range forecast, you'd expect to see snowfall caked all over the Victorian coastline right now. Incorrectly assessed by those forecast models, of course, but that's just one thing that I'll look for the favouring of lower-level snowfall. I just don't see that. You can see that snowfall is pretty much and accurately so confined to the higher country here, but there will be some good numbers. I'd say conservatively estimating 30 to 40 centimetres, but there is a chance that that could grow to 50, 60, or even 75 centimetres around Perisher Valley and Thredbo. I know that's a bit more than what the forecast models are suggesting, but there is, a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and there is that colder air much further up into the atmosphere, which will favour snowfall into those locations. It'll be a very, very interesting one to see how this one pans out, but again, I think it is confined to those upper elevations, and at this point in time as well, a bit of a question mark as to how significant the severe weather will be as we push in towards next week. The forecast modelling has been pretty shaky for that right now. Winds are going to be quite gusty as well, as you would expect for a system like this. This is a look at wind accumulation, which is the strongest wind gust through this selected period of time, which is from Saturday through to about next Friday, the 8th to the 14th of August. And you can see offshore gusts here between 95 to 105 kilometres an hour. Pretty standard to see that at this time of the year. The models are already going pretty nuts with some of those wind gusts into the higher elevations. Keep in mind that these are always underestimated here on the forecast models at this date range. So to already see severe wind gusts, 90 k's an hour, you can bet your bottom dollar that there will be some pretty prolific wind gusts into the upper elevations of New South Wales and Victoria as these storms and snowfall flurries do move through. It'll also get pretty gusty into the elevation areas around, or the elevated areas around Sydney or inland from Sydney, and it should also get pretty gusty into the northern tablelands of New South Wales, so it will feel colder and probably quite dreary in those locations. Also looks to be quite gusty here into the southern downs of Queensland, so that's going to be another thing to keep in mind as well. Very windy expected across the west coast of Tassie, as you would expect at this time of the year. But overall, stock standard winter coming through, perhaps a little bit stronger than the storms that we have been seeing so far this winter. Should be a pretty good snowfall outbreak at this point in time, just given what the current forecast models are suggesting. So overall, it gets my thumbs up. Into the southwest of WA, we do have, those same systems coming through just a few days earlier. I know that it is a bit topsy-turvy, but the majority of the viewer base is in southeastern Australia. Raise your hand from where you are in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear it. But you can see here, Thursday, Friday, cold front pushes through. A little bit of rainfall here and there, unfortunately, not making it out into the wheat belt. But it's going to be from next weekend onwards where the weather really does begin to ramp up. We get a cold front rushing up from the south here Sunday and into Monday. This is going to be one of those systems that kind of sweeps up from the south and gives us a bit of a sting in terms of cold air and strong winds, and mainly for the south coast. What I have noticed this year so far is it's been the west coast that gets the hiding of a lot of these weather systems, and for places like Albany and Esperance, it's been pretty tame. We have had some good rainfall in a few locations, and of course we have had our typical winter significant wind gusts, but if there's one place that I really have to pick that's been getting the hiding from these winter systems, it is of course the west coast, and actually an area north of Perth to about Geraldton that's been getting disproportionately negatively impacted from these weather events. The tables will turn though by the looks of things Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. It really does look like the south coast is going to get most of the action here, with showers sweeping up from the south. It should also get very cold as a result, and some strong wind gusts and small hailstones would naturally be the expectation. You can see though, I mean, whilst there is certainly that colder air aloft here that pushes up into the south coast, it's a bit detached from the main cold front and shower activity, so it's lagging behind a little bit. And to answer the question of, is this going to bring some rare snowfall to the Stirling Ranges, it's a very hard sell right now. I would probably be erring on the side of no. But yeah, it is a possibility with a setup like this. It just looks a little bit too dry behind this weather system. I mean, this map doesn't really show it, but you can see it is quite detached from when the main shower activity is expected to push through, is where that cold air mass is and that moist air mass is, which is what we need for snow. Snowfall is simply not looking at the rainfall forecast, and where the rainfall falls above a certain elevation, it turns to snowfall. There's so much more to it than that. Yeah, don't let anyone give you a snowfall forecast if that is what they are doing, because of course there is a lot more to it than that. Beyond that, the forecast modelling gets very shaky, but it does look like a few more winter systems are allowed to push through. It's very interesting what sort of happens towards mid to late August. As we discussed a few videos ago, the retreat of the subtropical jet is one thing. You can see it kinks up and pushes very far towards the south here in towards the middle portions of August, and this will naturally allow that subtropical ridge, which you can see here, what's currently positioned just towards the south of Indonesia. It's allowed to sink a couple of 100 kilometers towards the south into the Timor Sea and perhaps over the top of northern Australia, which is the start of the build-up. When this subtropical ridge retreats south, that's it. That's the end of winter, and we really begin to see the build-up start to occur here across the Northern Territory and WA. So we're going to be watching this one like a hawk, but it could also allow for some warm temperatures to begin to push into the region. Not at this elevation, of course, but you can see temperatures on the 17th. I mean, we are looking very long range right now, mid-30s. A few spots could even get up in towards the high 30s, so it could get very warm very quickly here into WA and the Northern Territory, with warm temperatures penetrating right down into South Australia and southern WA as well. So yeah, keep in mind, this is a pattern that we'd usually be seeing around mid-September. To see it in mid-August certainly is raising a few alarm bells, very in keeping with our El Nino forecast. I still cannot believe that people are finding reasons to argue with that. The fact that it's already happening and the fact that we are beginning to see those drought-related impacts across southeastern and southwestern Australia, I still cannot believe that people are able to argue the fact, but whatever floats their boat. And just one more thing before I round this video out, the eastern seaboard. There is going to be a few showers here and there, but thanks to the retreat of high pressure in the next couple of days, it looks like we might see a bit of finer weather eke in towards the eastern seaboard here and there. Not so much into far northern Queensland. The relentless southeasterly trade winds and showers associated with them will continue to pump throughout today and tomorrow. Like we said though, easing off a little bit through Wednesday. You can see those showers do become a little bit more offshore based through Wednesday and much lighter in nature as well. They potentially pick up again towards the end of the week before easing off properly into the weekend. A further 100 mils could be a possibility into portions of the Cassowary Coast, but overall rainfall accumulations will be much lighter in Cairns and inland locations. But you can see here, whilst high pressure is expected to be, into the Tasman Sea, it is a lot weaker than what we've been used to in recent days or recent weeks, I should say, and as high pressure begins to push into the central portions of New South Wales by around the middle portions of this week, it is also a lot weaker than what we have gotten used to seeing, which means shower activity is going to be a lot weaker and fewer and further between, at least for the next 5 or 6 days here across the Queensland East Coast as well as the New South Wales coast. But then again, it is a bit of a wild card as we move in towards mid-August. It looks like it actually does remain weaker, and we might actually have a proper chance of seeing some finer and calmer weather conditions here across our eastern seaboard. But yeah, it remains to be seen what's going to happen after about the 10th or the 11th of August. But yeah, some good news as to that regard here, particularly for those that are just fed up with this relentless, flowing of inbound moisture here across Queensland and New South Wales. It's just delivered relentless rainfall in recent weeks and months. And a very interesting statistic actually is, and this is where it boils down to perception. We've talked about this in previous forecast updates, but perception can sometimes be more important than what the actual numbers say. It can also get things wrong when compared to the actual numbers. Would you believe me if I told you that the Sunshine Coast, the Brisbane metro area, and the Gold Coast hinterland are actually sitting below average in terms of winter rainfall? Yet where it just seems like it's never stopped raining and we've had that constant barrage of southeasterly winds. Well, it's because of that constant barrage of southeasterly winds. Normally through winter you'd see at least 1 or 2 significant low pressure systems roll down into the Tasman Sea here and deliver a boatload of rainfall to certain locations, and that kind of tips the scales over. I mean, you get a lot of rainfall at once. It's more important than a little bit of rainfall here and there just from a pure numbers point of view here. But because we've had so many of those days where that southeasterly northeasterly flow has been pumping and it's delivered frequent showers towards southeastern Queensland and these portions of New South Wales. We're actually sitting above average in terms of rain days, but below average in terms of rainfall. Granted, it is about 70 to 80% of the average, so it's very close to that said average for the winter period, but or for this time into the winter period. But it's just because we've seen so many rain days that I believe the perception has been skewed towards a much wetter period here and towards southeastern Queensland and northeastern New South Wales. And that's actually supported by drought conditions beginning to develop here in towards inland portions of southern Queensland and northern New South Wales, which wouldn't be the case if we had seen a significant rainfall event like an east coast low pike itself off from New South Wales and Queensland. So a little bit of food for thought for you on your Monday morning, but I thought that was very interesting when I was researching some drought statistics in yesterday's Facebook post update. That'll do it for me today, though. I do hope you've enjoyed the forecast update or found it informative, preferably both. And if you have, then please consider subscribing as well as leaving a like on the video update whilst you're at it. I really do appreciate all of the recent support. It does mean the world to me. But that'll do it for me today. Have a great Monday and a great start to your week, and I'll catch you on the next storm. Goodbye.